Hello everyone, I'm Ian, a business operations executive for Orangeleaf Consulting, and welcome to another episode of Future to Happiness. Well, I'll be sharing my experience as someone who's new to the tech industry, as well as my experiences working in Orangeleaf Consulting. So, let me begin this story of mine by just explaining a bit more about my background. So, most of my working life, I've been in roles that see me meeting with people and speaking with people. And it was a great comfort, first of all, when I came into this role with OrangeTeam Consulting, to find that that is something that hasn't changed. I am in familiar territory when it comes to that part. And that's one of the first things I feel that I should share with people, is that when you enter something that's new, of course there will always be something called the unknown, and you will have a fear of it. As human beings, it's a natural state for us to have a fear of the unknown and have a sense of anxiousness when you're coming into something new. And I think one of the most important things for me that helped me to blend in, to fit in with this new life that I have, is that I had to find a safe space for me, comfortable spot, a sweet spot, where everything was familiar. And that was the human connection part of this role, where no matter what in the tech industry, whether it be in manufacturing, whether it be in finance, there are things that don't change, and that's the human connection. That's what I feel was important to me. And I felt that that was something that helped me to be more comfortable when I joined. That was the one thing that I started out with, is trying to find that sweet spot, just to get to know where I am right now. And then when I found that place I can regroup, that's when I had the ability to break out. Because I mentioned, I'm new to this. And there's a lot that was not unknown to me. And yeah, I had that sense of fear inside myself, but I had to basically build that mindset where I have to learn. And I have to know what I do not know. And once you are able to admit that you don't know enough, that's when you start to really learn. And one of the few first things that I learned is that in the tech industry, you should never be afraid. Be humble, but be brave. And what do I mean by that? In this industry, new is not even a trend word anymore. Everything is new. Everything can be different. From today, the next day, something could change. And for people, when change is something that sometimes they're afraid of, but in this industry, you can never be afraid, because there will always be something new. And when I changed that mindset from being, oh, I'm cautious, I'm being afraid, what is this? I don't know enough about it, to what is this? You start to question things. Rather than to doubt yourself, rather than to pull yourself back, you start to actually be excited. You start to be eager to learn what is this about. And I think that was also something important that happened to me. Something that I learned to do was to actually start questioning everything. And when you start doing that, you start to feel it. You start to feel the growing pains. And growing pains is normal. It's something that happens when there is a gap in yourself and you understand that gap. And when you admit that the gap is there, that's when it becomes an opportunity. Because the world of tech is big, it's limitless. It's up to you whether you want to start exploring it. And I made a promise to myself, a commitment to myself, that I will never say no to something that's new. And I will always try to understand more about it. That's what I did. And that's when I really started enjoying myself. But that's when it starts becoming an adventure. And when it starts becoming an adventure, you start exploring. And when you explore, there are different ways you can explore. I found there's different ways you can explore this new world. You can start reading about it. You can start playing around the new technology. And once again, I found my sweet spots, which was the human connection. One of the best ways I found to really explore the world of technology is that to ask people, to talk to people. One of the most amazing things is that I found that people are really excited to share in this industry. When it comes to something that they own or something they built, they love to share about it and they're excited to share about it, and you feel that energy. And when you have that energy around and when people are excited to share, that's when you start absorbing, you start sponging things in. Because most of the time, what they build is somewhat a small part of their life. And when they start sharing it with you, they're basically saying that, hey, I want you to be part of that life. I want you to be part of that circle. And when you're part of that circle, the amount you learn increases exponentially. Once you find that sweet spot, that place where you can be comfortable in, you're familiar with, and you've also got the confidence to go and explore, go on the adventure, one of the first things you learn really fast is you need to be agile in the tech industry. First word I ever heard in Orangeleaf Consulting, you gotta be agile. Because things change at drop of a hat. It's crazy. And you have to adopt this mindset that things are never constant. Nothing is consistent. The only thing that's consistent is that something will change. And the story I want to share with you about that is that recently my team and I, we went to Germany to attend the Hannover Messe event, trade exhibition. That's my first time ever in a trade exhibition, and I did not know what to expect. And I'm glad that I had that blank slate because the amount of people that were there, the technology that was around, there's a lot of things that I wasn't familiar with, and I had to learn on the spot. And it was a struggle at first, but after that, it was a journey. I had promised myself that I would not keep myself in a box when I was there. I'll open that box and try to meet with as much people as possible, talk with as much people as possible, and learn about new technology as much as possible. And that was the best thing that I ever did when I went there. I made myself sure that if anything changed, any plans change, I'll make myself adaptable to it. I won't be stuck in that, okay, this is what I plan to do, this is where I plan to visit, this is who I plan to talk to. I made plans, of course, but I had to be agile enough to work around that plan. Things change. That person might not be there, that booth might not be open, meeting people that is different than what I expected. I had to adapt to that situation, and when I did that, the experience became basically a godsend. I was very happy, and I'd like to thank my team as well, giving me the opportunity to be in that situation, be in that event, and yeah, I think so far that's been my experience in the tech industry. It's been a wild ride, it's been a short ride, but like I mentioned, it's never boring. And it comes down to the same message that I started with, is that there's a lot of things that will be in the unknown. You should never be afraid. Be humble, because you should never underestimate the size of this industry, the scale of it. But yeah, don't be afraid. You'll find your confidence somewhere. You'll find your familiar territory. And it might be something that you never expect. All right, thank you everyone for listening on this episode of the F2O podcast, and this segment featured happiness. Stay tuned for more episodes. Until then, bye-bye.